Surprise! Do you notice anything different about me? I've gotten fatter. Fuck off! No, I've actually surprised you for this video, and I've shaved off my facial hair. It took me 3 weeks to grow that facial hair. I know it's a shitty excuse for facial hair, but it took me 3 weeks nonetheless, and it was all for the purposes of this intro. Was it worth it?
Hello and welcome back to the Movies and Milk 30-day film challenge. I am your drastically inferior host, Matthew Coleman, and today myself and Michael will be discussing our most surprising film experience. Most surprising film experience, was it called? Sorry, the most surprising movie we've ever seen. Sorry, that's it. Again, very much in the same vein as The Shining and yesterday's entry with The Last Jedi. I can't be absolutely confident that this is the most surprised I've ever been whilst watching a film, but it's certainly a film to date and by memory that I remember being absolutely so surprising. And today we're going to be talking about, which is actually one of my favourite films of all time now, certainly in the top 10, Manchester by the Sea. Manchester by the Sea is written and directed by Kenneth Lonergan, and it is a film that explores grief, bereavement and everything in between. It is a fantastic film with an absolute explosive performance by Casey Affleck, certainly his best role. See if you're going to be on the phone, Mum. You're going to stop looking in my window. Casey Affleck actually went on to win Best Actor at the Academy Awards for his performance in this film. I just love absolutely everything about this film. It's certainly one of the most personal films to me. The central story within the film is actually very reminiscent of something that's happened to me over the last couple of years. And this is certainly a film whenever I'm feeling melancholy, whenever I'm feeling down, I'll stick it on. And it just elevates my mood a little bit more. It's expertly written by Kenneth Lonergan. It can be very, very funny at times, it can be very sad at times, but what this film does so incredibly is that it absolutely nails grief to a T. Everything that the characters go through within this film is an exact replication of what grief can bring upon a person. And I can personally relate to Casey Affleck's character in this film, and of course his nephew portrayed by Lucas Hedges. It is a fantastic film, and if you haven't seen it, I highly implore that you do check it out. But what made the film so surprising to me is that myself and a group of my friends went off to the cinema to see a screen unseen. This is essentially where you don't know what film you're going to see until it starts. And at the time, Split was going to be the biggest release of that year. I'm not a massive M. Night Shyamalan fan. I do love two of his films, The Sixth Sense and Signs, but given the press that Split was receiving from early reviews, it seemed to be a fantastic film, and of course I really wanted to see it. But with all hope of seeing Split early, it was completely radicalised. I was disappointed to see Manchester by the Sea pop up. I hadn't seen a trailer, I hadn't read any reviews for the film. I was aware of its eventual existence within the filmmaking universe, however at the time my expectations were lying on Split. But I'm so glad that this was the film that I saw that day. It was everything that I had to see, everything that I had to hear at that exact time. Back in 2016 I just so happened to be in some of the darkest times of my life, and this film really picked me up. And it's a film, as I mentioned, one of my favourite films of all time, certainly the most personal film to me, and I just absolutely love it. So if you haven't given this film a chance, please do yourself a service, check it out. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if it's free or if you have to buy it, but certainly, you know, it's worth every penny. Check it out. My God, it's warm. It's such a warm day. Make any more noise. And then you're looking in the window and you're on the phone like that. I'm trying to take my video. I can see you perfectly fine. Absolute nutter. Anyway, Michael, back to you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. I miss you lots. So before I talk about my entry, let me tell you a little story again. It's story time with Michael. So it was back in the summer of 2011. I was about 13 years old, and me and my friend, who was 12 at the time, went to go and see the In-Betweeners movie. I say we went to go and see it when in actuality we tried. For those who don't know, the In-Betweeners movie was given a 15 certificate over here in the UK, which meant no one under the age of 15 can go and see the movie. And some teenagers would come up with some elaborate plan to try and get in. So our plan was this. We would go to the box office and we would try and purchase tickets for the In-Betweeners movie. Considering the fact that I struggle to look over 15 years old right now, again, 3 weeks for that, obviously we didn't get in. Gosh darn it. But we had travelled all that way, so we figured we may as well go and see something. And so we went to go and see Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is one of the most surprising movies that I have ever seen. I wasn't aware of the original Planet of the Apes at all. I mean, I knew that they existed, but I never actually watched them. And I wasn't really expecting much from this one. The trailers never really intrigued me. But then I went and saw it, and oh boy, I did not expect that. The film was in fact so good that it transformed me into a Planet of the Apes fan. I mean, obviously the film does have its flaws, and I do find the original Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes to be better than this film. But Christ, Andy Serkis is Caesar. That moment when Malfoy is about to taser Caesar, and he grabs him by the wrists and shouts, "No!" It just blew me away. And was I disappointed that I never got to go and see the In-Betweeners movie? No, because my dad managed to get me in the following weekend. But little did I know that I had actually seen a far superior movie the week before. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is one of the... It's just a gem. And thus concludes Day 4, folks. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment down in the comment section down below of what the most surprising film you've ever seen is. And if you wish to take part in this 30-day movie challenge yourself, you can find the template over on the Movies and Milk Instagram, as well as other fun stuff. You see, I keep saying that, but I've still to post fun stuff. If we get more followers, we might consider. So until tomorrow, stay safe, don't do anything stupid, and we will see you for Day 5.